evening and welcome to Meticulous Moments. My name is Juanita Kapp. You can reach me at meticulousmacarons@gmail.com or find me on LinkedIn. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe, I've had the wonderful privilege to meet a wide array of fantastic individuals. These individuals have truly touched my life in so many positive ways. Amongst this group of people, there are authors, public speakers, life coaches, poets, leaders, and visionaries. They are the unsung heroes of our time. Therefore, I decided to start the Meticulous Moments movement out of a sense of my gratitude. It is my way of giving back to the community. Let us share and reshare their stories in an effort to build a better society. Good day and welcome to yet another vibrant session on Meticulous Moments podcast, where we facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And today we have the privilege of spending time with the wonderful and amazing Dr. Rani Thanacoody. We had such a wonderful interview. Let me give you some more information on Dr. Rani. Dr. Rani Thanacoody holds a PhD in management. She is a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy methods. This is an award-winning therapy that has helped individuals within 1 to 3 sessions to overcome their physical and emotional issues. She is also an inspirational speaker mentored by none other than Les Brown. She's a certified Mars-Venus life and relationship coach. She's a breathwork coach, a life force compassion energy practitioner, a chakra healer, a tarot reader, and astrologer. Rani has been mentoring and coaching countless numbers of staff and students for the past 20 years. We are going to make Rani's contact details available after this session, and we just had a phenomenal interview together. Sit back, relax, enjoy it with us, and with that, we say welcome to our special guest speaker, Dr. Rani Thanacoody. Good day, Meticulous Moments audience. Thank you so much for joining us for another lovely session and a discussion on leadership. And today we have the wonderful privilege of spending time with the amazing Rani Thanacoody. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome, Rani.
Hi, Juanita, and hi to your audience. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm very honored to be part of your podcast
Thank you. That's wonderful.
What is it called? Can you do that a bit?
Moments.
Meticulous Moments. I think I need to do that again.
Okay, let's do it again. It's fine.
I am sorry. Okay.
You can. I'll just say welcome, Rani, because I'll edit it, and then you can just say your part. So I'm just going to say 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to say welcome, Rani, and then you can continue. Okay.
Yes,
so
yes.
No worries. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Rani.
Hi, Juanita. Hi to your audience. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast called Meticulous Moments. I am very honored and very excited to speak to you and to your audience. Thank you, Juanita.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rani. And to the audience, I just also want to say thank you to Rani, because she recently had me on her podcast. Let me say Thank you, Rani. Thank you so much. It's such a privilege to have you here this evening. And I just also want to say thank you to you, Rani, for having me on your podcast. Awesome. You the other day, it was a phenomenal session.
It was indeed. Yes, it was wonderful having you as a guest. Thank you as well, Juanita.
Lovely. And this evening, Rani, you and I have had virtual coffees. We've had calls.
Yes.
We've been, online together. I know you, but the audience does not know you yet. Would you like to just introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes. So I am Dr. Rani Thanacoody from Amazing You. and I am based in the UK. So I am a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am also a Mars Venus life and relationship coach, a life force compassion practitioner, astrologer, tarot reader, and I have my own podcast called Amazing You. So what I do, just so that the audience knows, I have a full-time academic job, but as my part-time job, I do all the other things that I've just said, clinical hypnotherapist and all that. And how did that start is, for a long time in my life, I felt very lonely. I had a very low confidence, and I was bullied from one job to another. And I wanted to find out, Juanita, why I was bullied. And that's when I started to invest in my personal development and to heal my inner child. And I did that during the pandemic. And in healing myself, now I am able to help other people to heal themselves. So I mostly help women who are over 40 to overcome their traumas, their emotional issues, their physical issues, so that they achieve their dreams, feeling confident, feeling abundant, feeling happy without feeling stuck.
Well, there's two things that come to mind, Rani. The first thing I'm thinking is you absolutely fit the profile for Meticulous Moments, because we aim to facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And the second thing I was thinking, as you were explaining, your the interest that you have and what you are busy with, your expertise, is that we are in exceptionally good leadership hands this evening. And that brings me to the second question.
Yes.
Would you elaborate for us on which field of science or study you have a doctorate in? Because you mentioned that you do have an academic job during the day. So what does that involve? Are you a lecturer? What field of science? Is it hypnotherapy? Is it psychology? Is it psychiatry? Just elaborate on that for us, please.
Yes. So my background itself is social work, and then I did my PhD in human resource management. So that's my field of research, and that's the field that I teach as well at university.
Fantastic.
And within that field of human resource management, my specific area is on work-life balance, looking at stress of employees, the issues with burnout, and how this impact on the retention and turnover in the organization. And that's how I realized that there needs more to be done, not only research, but more hands-on work on how to help people. And that's how I train as a hypnotherapist.
That is phenomenal. It is such a contemporary subject that we really need to give attention to. And that is a question that does pop up in many of my interviews. I ask the leaders, because we look to the leaders to be an example to us. And I ask many leaders, how do they facilitate work-life balance? Now, I've read articles that say work-life balance is a myth. And then on the other extreme, I hear people say that, if you have a morning routine and an evening routine, and you are set in your disciplined routine and your life, and you box off your time, work-life balance is possible. So would you render, your opinion on that for us? How do we facilitate work-life balance, and is it possible?
Yes, I think everybody can have work-life balance, and everything is possible. When you have faith in God and faith in yourself, everything is possible. And work-life balance, having that work-life balance, it starts with the mindset. And I'm sure your audience knows about that, about having a scarcity and a growth mindset. So if you have a growth mindset, you are always positive. You will always find solutions and find ways during the day to, whenever there is a kind of imbalance, you will know how to take a break, breathe a bit, or go for a walk. So It is
Yes.
us taking that responsibility so everybody can achieve the work-life balance, because we are meant to be on this planet. We are God's children. We are meant to live an abundant life. So everything is possible.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that, doctor. And, I was thinking, and this is not something that I was going to ask, but I was actually having a discussion with a pastor today, a fellow pastor, and I was asking him his religious view on hypnotherapy, because I've been counseling someone who just cannot, you mentioned healing that inner child, just cannot really let go of the things that are keeping them in the same hamster wheel, I'd call it. Yes. And I suggested, because I'm very open to different types of therapy, I'm very open to healing a person in a holistic manner. I always say you look at the body, the soul, the spirit. Don't be scared of terms such as energy. Don't be scared of speaking about the universe. Don't be scared to talk about the aura, because we are all energy. We all have a network. We have this, how do they call it? The heart. What was the word that they call it? It's something that resonates from us, from our hearts.
The aura? Is it the aura that you...
It is the aura, but it has another word. I forget the word now, but it will come to me. Hey?
Energy, vibration, or?
It was kind of a vibration. Okay. There's something that we emit, and I call it a presence. If I say presence, people realize, because I always say, when you walk into a building, you carry a presence. And I always say, clear your energy fields, make sure your presence that you carry is a positive presence. But I was discussing with this pastor, what would it be? Would it be possible for this person to go for hypnotherapy to see if it can work? Now, doctor, does it work on people? What is the function of hypnotherapy and what are the benefits? And should people be scared of it? Because a lot of people are scared of hypnotherapy. They don't know what to expect because they don't understand it.
Right. I think there's nothing to be scared. Hypnosis is the same state that you are in every day when you drive your car. You are in a focused, relaxed state, or when you are sitting, you are watching TV, you are focused on the screen, so you are in a relaxed and focused state. So hypnosis is the same. It is what we call the relaxation of the nervous system. So you are in a relaxed state, but your mind is open to some positive suggestions at that time when you are in that relaxed state. When you watch TV, you are open to all the suggestions from the media, from the movie, so it goes into your subconscious mind. So that's what hypnosis is about. And in the Bible, if people who have a belief and they are scared about it, in the Bible, it's also mentioned, be renewed by the power of your mind, something like that in Matthew's. Yeah, do you remember that quote, Juanita?
I do. It makes so much sense.
Yes. So the power of our mind, if we know how we can utilize it, it will do amazing things for us and in our lives. So hypnosis is something that people shouldn't be scared. I know there are movies that have been done that make people scared about it, that they won't get up after hypnosis. No, because the hypnosis that I do, it's really a relaxation of the nervous system, and I keep talking to the patient, and the patient keep talking to me, so they are more alert. They are not sleeping at all. They are alert in that state, but they are relaxed.
Fantastic. I love that, and I'm happy that you gave that definition, because hopefully people will do a little bit more research on these things, because science really isn't our enemy. Science isn't the opposite of religion. God made science. He blessed us with science as a gift so that we can excel and transcend. And I quickly looked up the phrase that I was looking for, and it goes to the Heart Math Institute when it speaks about the heart, and it says the heart produces a significant electromagnetic field.
Oh, yes.
That's the scientific term for presence that you carry, or your aura, or the way that you make people feel, just for the audience as well who are interested in these things. Yeah. And you mentioned something that I spoke on a live about, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
We were talking about personal growth. And I said to them, personal growth happens regardless if you are aware of it or not.
Yes.
You are growing. You are a human being. You're a living, growing human being.
Yes.
And there's so many external influences, social media, television, people that tell us things, boards that we see, things that we hear. We don't even recognize all of it going into our subconscious, like you mentioned. And I said, we have to become intentional about how we grow personally.
Yes.
We have to say, well, I'm not going to focus, I'm going to cut out, just example, horror movies. I'm not going to watch things that are not good for my spirit. I'm not going to listen to negative things. I'm going to listen to music that makes me feel good and relaxed, that edifies me. I'm going to stay out of places that I shouldn't be, because it all comes in, it all seeps in.
Yes.
And I said, if we're intentional about our personal and professional growth, we have, I wouldn't say 100% hold on our personal growth, but we have, to some degree, we have control over what comes in.
Yes, and if we understand how the mind works, it's amazing, because the mind, the power of the mind is wonderful, and the mind is like a computer screen, and it stores everything, Juanita. It stores and it remembers everything for years. So it goes into the subconscious mind and it remains there, and we are not even aware, Juanita. And then after 40 or 50 years of our life, we start having issues. And when we go back into hypnosis, we find that those clients have had patterns, beliefs, thoughts that they have stored in their subconscious mind, you see?
Amazing. It's actually so wonderful to think that it is the depths of what we really remember, because there's so much, we're only aware of a little bit of what we know, but subconsciously it's like the ocean.
Yes, it is.
There's just no end to it. A million things coming in and out of us during the day. And it brings you to the next question, because you have a very strong and prominent leadership role in society. Hence that I invited you on here, because our focus is leadership. And I wanted to ask you, tell us more about your role in society as a transformational leader in all these roles that you walk in and that you minister in.
Yes, so I think it started from a very young age when I started teaching. Even in secondary school, I always had an interest in helping others to become a better version of themselves, even when I teach them. So my aim always in teaching from secondary, then I moved to tertiary, to academia. It is about inspiring and empowering these individuals so that they can serve others in the future. So it's about motivating them as well, giving them the belief in themselves. And that's very important. And I've been doing that for the past 20 years in academia, where I had been a mentor or a tutor to students, to thousands of students, and also dissertation students. So when they come to me for their dissertation, it's not only about the dissertation, but it's about giving them that motivation, giving them that belief in themselves that they can achieve that, because it's a big piece of work. It's 50,000 words. So they need that encouragement. They need that positive word. They need that support throughout the writing of their dissertation, throughout that journey. So I have been doing that for a long time. And then I realized with hypnotherapy, I am able to help even more people into empowering them now to transform their life themselves in the therapy session. So I am just a guide, and they are able to heal themselves and see where their issues are coming from. We go to the root cause, and it helps them to overcome all their issues. It can vary from anger, fears, Juanita, relationship issues, procrastination, traumas, so many of those issues, and even more. Yes.
Absolutely. I love that. And as you're speaking, about the projects that you do, about your work that you conduct, I can just see you're a very people-orientated person. You are a very heart-centered leader. And let me tell you, I understand what you mean when you say a dissertation is a heavy piece of work. It is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
It takes consistency, it takes perseverance,
Yes.
and with the necessary guidelines and the right leadership, it becomes something pleasant. But the
Absolutely.
opposite can also be true, because it is, a big step in the academia. So I'm so thankful that there are lecturers out there like yourself that want to uplift and edify students, that give them the necessary guidance to be successful, because it really is it's something that builds your character.
Yes.
To do a dissertation and a thesis, it really takes everything out of you. There is for the audience that maybe you don't know what it is, when you get to master's level and doctorate level, you have to do a thesis or a dissertation. That's like writing your own book, per
Yes.
se. And you have to identify a problem in society, and you have to find the answer to that problem. So you identify a gap in the academic world. You say this is a problem, a gap in the academic world, and then you find that solution. So it is quite hefty. And you started your podcast, you're making so many advances in what you do, you're making so many changes, positive changes. Tell us more about your podcast, and what is the origin story? Amazing You. What is the origin story? Or is it Awesome You?
Amazing You. It is called Amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just cut that part out. Okay.
Yes. It's all right. So the very origin of that podcast, it started during the pandemic. I was on a course with, I'm sure your audience might have heard of Les Brown. He's a very powerful voice, powerful person, very well-known person in the States. And I was on his course for 6 months to train to develop my voice, my power voice. So, and he used to say every week, people need to hear from all of you. We were about 180 from all over the world. He said, you don't know, but people need to hear your voice at this time during the pandemic, because even after the pandemic, people need to hear your voice, because there are so many issues that will come out. And it sank into my mind, but I didn't take it so seriously. I said, where do I start? Because I am in academia. I have no idea how to do all these podcasts like he does. He's an expert and he gets help. And then I just let it sink in, and I was open to it. I just was open to the idea, people need to hear our voice. And in 2021, in January 2021, I have a relative who lives far away in my home country, and she was in deep trouble. She was having issues at home. She lost her job, and she couldn't find help at home. She didn't know where to go. She was really in a very dark place, because she couldn't even eat, because it was really impacting her health and well-being.
Yes.
So I call her on my mobile, and I say, I was starting to encourage her every week. Every Saturday I would spend, it was about for a month I did that. And I asked her to take action. And I was really, really happy to see that she took action every week that I told her. I told her to look for the job and to apply, to buy a new mobile, and to go for interview, because she can do it. Nobody can do it except her. So it's her life. So I was encouraging her, and she took action. People need to take action as well. So she took action, and I realized that I needed to speak more after she found her job. I say, no, I need now to start something, because if she needs it, she needed it at that time. So many people need help at that time.
Yes.
So that's how it started.
Amazing. I love that. I love the name Amazing You. It is uplifting. It's positive. And in a sense, you identified a gap.
Yes.
And you are filling that gap. That is so phenomenal. That is just wonderful to see that your heart is community driven and that you work with people, and you also do so, in a very kind manner. What I like about you, Rani, is you are always calm and collected, and you are just a wonderful person to know, and
Thank
people
you.
like that. People want to know grounded individuals. They
Yes.
don't want to feel the one day everything's fine and the next day, something is wrong and they're not sure. So that is a very positive point, and I think that makes you an excellent lecturer. I'm sure you are very popular with your students.
I think so too. I think so. That I do love my students, and I think it comes from having love for others. I think it's very important to love what you do as well. And
Yes.
I always love what I do. I always love teaching, but I wasn't always grounded as you see now until
Yeah.
I started the personal development. So later I'll talk a bit more
Wonderful.
about that.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And it leads me to our question: what type of leadership do you employ in your day to day life? There's different styles. Do you
Yes.
do the same one all over, or do you use different leadership styles for different personalities, different classes? What is your take on that?
That's a really good question, Juanita. And I've been thinking of that question. And when I think about myself, I think I use two main types of leadership, what we call servant leadership,
Yes.
where you bring value to people, and also in a very kind, in a very compassionate way, and taking the time to listen and to care for them. And I think I do that all the time with the students, with my clients, and even with my colleagues. So they have also, we are all individuals. They each have their own issues that comes up, and
Yes.
they have their own challenges, their own struggles. And I also use the transformational leadership in
Very
terms
good.
of inspiring the students in the classroom, bringing new case studies, current case studies, helping them to think even deeper than what they just see on the surface, motivate them throughout their dissertation, and
Yeah.
always offering them help when they do their assessment, us offering them help to come and see me. So being available for others, I think is very important. And also helping them to create a vision for themselves. In the class, I do some exercise. I made them think about themselves a bit, indirectly doing some personal development work so that they see a bigger picture for themselves, not just that specific topic, that specific module.
Wonderful approach. I think it's necessary. I think you're really an adaptable person, an adaptable leader, because you see what needs to be done in a certain manner and that you do. And it's always to edify and uplift and elevate. So
Yes.
that's very, very good on your part. And now I ask a question. And this is a very controversial question, and I've had a million different answers on this one before. And I don't think my mind is completely made up about it yet. But
Right.
in your opinion, are leaders born or are they formed?
Okay. I will answer that question that will answer both. So I think we are, as we are children of God, we all have the potential for leadership.
Yeah.
But what happens is as we grow up, we get told you can't do this, you can't do that, and this get pushed down. But if we are in the right environment, what I mean by the right environment is if you are surrounded by positive people, by people who know more than you, by people who are
Yes.
positive, then you can become a great leader. And so I would say we all
Fantastic.
have leadership potential, and we can develop that as we are surrounded by the right people and being in the right place. And I would like to share that, if you would allow me.
Of course.
Juanita, what I mean, being in the right environment, it's surrounded by the right people. And Jim Rohn said, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And that is so true. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yes.
I always tell the youth that I work with, I say, do not only think that it's good things that rub off. If you are surrounded with good people and you're surrounded with strong leaders, that is going to rub off. But be careful who you spend time with, because the opposite is also true.
Yes.
And it's not something that you intentionally pick up. It's something that just happens. If you spend time with the wrong people, whatever their shortfalls may be, whatever character flaws they might have, the wrong people, the negativity will rub off on you. You won't even notice it. And sometimes people only notice it when it's too late. Now, that's not to say that you are saying you won't spend time with different people. I mean, in the Bible, we see Jesus spend time with all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
But he was there to be the positivity.
Yes.
He was there to be the good change. He didn't let that influence him.
Yes.
So it's really, when you mentioned that we are all leaders, I agree with you, because to some extent, we have to live a life of self-leadership.
Yes.
How do you look after yourself? How do you present yourself in a situation? What are you doing to your body, to your mind? Yeah. Do you have plans for your future? Do you love your life? So I agree with your answer. I think that's the best answer to date on whether leaders are born or formed. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I think it starts with ourselves, like you just said. It's leading ourselves, because when we are able to lead ourselves, to have a vision, to see our future, then we can help others,
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I love that. And if you had to describe leadership in one sentence, what would that sentence be?
That's an interesting one. I would say that leadership is about others. It is not about you.
Beautiful.
Yes, because
so true.
Because when you are a leader, you are empowering others to become a better version of themselves. And when they become a better version of themselves, then you feel that joy, you feel that happiness. So it's about others. So if you want to get in leadership position for yourself, that's not the right thing, because leadership, it's about others. It's not about you.
Yes, the focus is on everyone else, not you.
Yes.
And as we rise, we lift. I love that. Now, I know that you've studied a lot of books, I'm sure, because of your work, your interests, everything that you're busy with. So I really wanted to put this question in, because it really, it would be very interesting for me to know, what is your favorite leadership quote? And I know there are millions out there. What's your favorite leadership quote and why?
Okay, my favorite one, I think that author, that very well-known leader who talks about leadership. His name is John C. Maxwell. And he said,
yes,
he's amazing. I love his teachings. And he said, a leader is one who knows the way, who goes the way, and shows the way. Because the leader has to know where he is going so that he can lead his people. He or she can lead his people, but also he goes the way. That is, he walk the talk. Whatever he said, he put it into practice himself or herself. And that's very important, because then the people he will inspire people. He will be a role model for his or her people.
I love that. I always think of John C. Maxwell, and I know that he comes from the ministry, and then he went into life coaching, and he's an author, and he's written so many books.
Yes.
And I always think of him as this wonderful leader, having been forged almost in the ministry, getting, ready in the ministry time for God to take him to the marketplace so that he can make a difference in so many more leaders' lives. And I think he's just phenomenal. I agree with you. I know that quote, and I also resonate with it because I know that also is an example of something that he learned from the Bible. It's something that he saw and then he applied it in his journey. So thank you for that. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Juanita.
Our next question. In your opinion, how often should leaders engage in personal and professional development activities?
Well, for that question, I think as a leader, not only a leader in a high position, but each one of us as a leader of our life,
Yes.
We should continuously engage in personal and professional development. This is a lifelong journey because I have realized that so many people at 25 after they finish uni, they are like a dead person because they stop learning.
Yeah.
And people that are very happy, very fulfilled are those who continuously learning from their experiences, whether it's good, whether it's bad. They go through courses, they attend courses, seminars, they continuously grow. So life is a learning journey. And I would say the day that we stop learning is the day we start dying. So we have to keep learning continuously.
I agree. I resonate with that. I've seen it. People that keep busy, people that learn new things, like you said, they are just different.
Yeah.
And I feel it's because they have this sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
And they also find their passion and they find their purpose through the teachings that they receive. And then they are filled and they can give. And there's no greater feeling in the world to be able to give of yourself and your knowledge and of your experience. So I always say to people, where passion and purpose meet, that's where the magic happens, because then both parties are happy. You are happy in yourself. You found your purpose. It is something that you love to do. And this you bring to the world. Yeah. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, we work with teams. I think when we personally and professionally develop as well, we learn how to face easy situations when we are in the zone and we are really just going at it and everything's going well. But we also learn things in the times of chaos. Yes. Maybe when you have a team that's not gelling very well, maybe there's some personality differences. So tell me, how should leaders deal with difficult teams? Because it's not always, an easy task to lead a team with a lot of strong leaders within.
Yes, that's true. I think it starts with listening. I think listening is very important. Listening to your team members, listening to everybody's perspectives, and also having empathy is very important as a leader. To empathize with your team members, to really build a connection, a relationship with them, understand where they are coming from, and even understand their family issues, because sometimes when you understand why they are behaving like that, it comes from their personal life, their family issues. And that's where the leader should help his team members to become a better person. So even in their personal lives, because I am sure you might have seen that documentary called Undercover Boss.
Please elaborate. Yeah.
Okay, it's an American reality show, and what they do is the boss go undercover, so he or she disguises himself and go at the really grassroots level of the company to find out why they are having a specific issue or what can they improve in the company. So when the boss disguises himself or herself, they really get to know their employees, what the employees are doing, why are they like that. They listen to the stories, And they say that they themselves become changed from doing that because they haven't realized that their employees put so much effort, but they go through so many challenges as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful idea. I've not watched that before, but you mentioned something. You've mentioned relationship building.
Yes. Yes.
People want to feel that they are validated. They want to feel loved and accepted.
Absolutely.
The creative juices will start to flow when people are relaxed in their setting.
Yes.
Nobody wants to wake up on a Monday morning and think, oh, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
That is how the day starts. So I always tell employers that I work with, people that are life coach that have businesses, I always tell them, create a psychological safe space for your employees.
Yes.
They should never be scared to say how they feel and why they feel like that.
That's so true. That's so true, Juanita. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're working with people. We're not working with machines. I know the fourth industrial revolution is on the way and all those things are happening. I mean, I saw an article the other day, even these stuntmen are now being replaced by robots.
Yes.
Because it's, there's less hassles with the health of the robot and accidents that can happen. So I know there's industrial revolutions going on, but in the workplace, we still work with people. We work with people wherever we go. It's always about the people, family, friends, work, wherever. Yeah.
Yes.
Great stuff. So now we're getting a little bit closer to core values. We're stepping a little bit closer to the deeper things, the things that we hear that's not necessarily being said, the things that we read between the lines when we work with people. In your opinion, what are the core values of leadership?
Core values of leadership, I think, one is having integrity as a leader. And having integrity means being honest, having strong moral principles, and behaving ethically, that is doing the right thing, even behind the closed doors.
I love that.
And another one would be having love for your people. That's very important as a leader, loving your people, because when you love your people, they will see the passion, the love you have for them, and they will do the same for their customers, And I have seen a very good example of that. It's the former CEO of Southwest Airlines, and he was such a person of passion, and he loved his people. He loved to create fun in the company, and he valued the people, the employees. He would go and visit them from one part of the US to the other. He really valued them, made them feel as if it's their family. They are part of a big family.
Yeah.
And these employees were extremely happy. They would do anything for the job, anything for the business, because they feel like they are a family, you see?
Yes.
So that's another one. Yes. And the other, sorry, Juanita.
No, continue. I'm enjoying this so much.
The next one, it's leading through positive influence. As a leader, it's about seeing the good in your people. It's very important to be positive yourself and to always see the good no matter what happens in your people. And that will motivate them, that will inspire them to go further, to go much more than the potential of the person. Because if they know that you are a positive force for them, they will feel encouraged, they will feel motivated, you see, so they will go the extra mile. Yeah.
That's wonderful, above and beyond. Yeah, and one more for us, please.
Yes, a last one. It's about believing in your people and in their potential, no matter what. Whether it's somebody anybody in the organization, believing in them. Because when you believe in them, then the person will start to believe in themselves, and that will help them to achieve their greatness. Yeah.
Amazing. It's almost as, when you were explaining those points, I think there were 4 of them.
Yes.
It's kind of like building blocks.
Yes.
And setting the stage for your employees to succeed.
Yes.
And if they succeed, they feel successful and they are positive, they are ready, they go above and beyond, like you said, and the whole company flourishes.
Yes.
So really, it doesn't work from this way up. It actually works from the top down.
Yes. Yeah. It starts from the top. Everything starts from the top. Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for those points. They were so valuable. I'm going to remember them. And I want to ask you something. If you could spend a day with anyone in the world, and there's a lot of people out there,
Yes.
who would it be and why? And where would you go?
That's a very good question, but a very challenging one, because there are so many people I would love to spend my time with, and and I think I would say one person that I would like at this specific time to spend my time with. His name is Gabor Mate.
Okay.
He's a former medical practitioner in Vancouver, and he's now retired, and now he's working with addicts, with people with traumas, to heal themselves. So he's doing a lot of voluntary work. He has designed a course called Compassion Inquiry, and he's really helping these people, not through the medical side, but through the healing side, to heal themselves in a natural way. And what he uses compassion. And I love him because I met him this year in London. I went to one of his book launch, and he came for a conference. And I met him personally. He signed my book. And he is just like he is on the screen, on the stage. He's a person full of compassion, very humble,
Beautiful.
great sense of humor, very generous. The number of scholarship he gave to people who needed help, I was so surprised. He was so generous and always so kind to everybody. And and that's somebody that I would love to spend time to learn from him and to spend time in his company. I think it would be a great opportunity to spend more time with him.
He does absolutely have a special, ministry, I'd call it, or anointing. We need more of that in society. We need that compassion.
Yes. Yeah.
We do need that because people can be very harsh.
Yes.
And honestly, I've seen that over the years. I'm sure you've seen that in your field of study. People judge a book by its cover too often.
And Juanita, they not only judge a book by its cover, but they judge themselves, Juanita. And that's why so many issues of depression, of anxiety, because of the negative self-talk in their mind that they tell themselves. And I have clients, they've been holding this negative belief about themselves, that they are stupid, that they can't do it. And so it's giving ourselves self-compassion. We need to start. Yes. Yeah.
Lovely self-compassion.
Yes.
Wonderful. We are learning. That's a wonderful term, and it's so true.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that the term has been coined, but it's such an apt term that you used, self-compassion. That makes so much sense.
Yes. Yeah. I've been able to experience that with my hypnotherapy clients, because I can see the issues that they come up with. It comes from their own belief, their own lack of compassion for themselves. Everything comes from our lack of self-love and compassion. Yes. And if
Mm,
we are more
absolutely.
compassionate towards ourselves, we see the world in a different way, because when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change, as said by Wayne Dyer.
That makes sense. It really makes sense. And I often wonder, and I mean, we're all guilty of this. Why are we so hard on ourselves? Why is it that we are so hard on ourselves all the time? Why don't we cut ourselves a break now and again and just take a breather and say, well, tomorrow we start over?
But we haven't been taught that. We have always been taught that we have to be like this, we have to be like that. The media influences us that we have to behave in certain way, It's like the guilt that people put on us as well. So it's like when we grow up and we realize that we are responsible for our life, and we have to start to heal ourselves, and that starts with having compassion, because when you have self-compassion, you heal everything. You can cure from any sickness,
Beautiful, beautifully said, well articulated. And this
Thank
time
you.
has flown by. I mean, we only have 2 questions left. I can't believe it. Now,
Yeah.
my second, yeah, my second question is: what is next for you? What
What
projects
is
are you busy with? Yeah.
Yes, what is next for me? I am on a few podcasts of some other speakers coming in the next few weeks. Also, I have one chapter of a book which have published. Sorry, it has been launched last Wednesday,
Wow.
and the book is called Love and Coaching, and I have a chapter in that, which is chapter 4. So the book is going to be is on Amazon now, and it's going to be on an interactive audio or interactive book as well. So this is going to happen in the next few weeks too. So I am really excited about that. It's the second book chapter that I have been part of. The first one was in another book called Bare Naked and Beautiful, where I shared my journey about healing. So, and what I would like to do next is write children's book. This is something that I would love to do. I have got some ideas, and this is something I would do in the coming years, write children's book.
Absolutely, so inspiring that you want to take, your wisdom and your knowledge and put it into a book for children.
Yes.
Really change their hearts and their minds. And you are busy with so many lovely projects, and we cheer you on, and we know that you are making a positive difference.
Thank you, Juanita.
Any final words of wisdom for the audience that you want to leave them with?
Yes. I would like to tell every person listening, watching today, is to start loving yourself and believe in yourself and value yourself. Because so many people, I have seen that from my hypnotherapy clients, we have so many unmet needs as a child, and as we grow up, we start to look for approval, we start to look for love, we start to look for acceptance from our surroundings, from our partners, from our parents, from our friends, from our bosses. And when we don't get it, we get disappointed, we feel sad, we feel upset, we feel guilty, we feel all sorts of feelings. So the first thing is to love yourself, accept yourself, and believe in yourself. Because until you love yourself, only then can other people start loving you. Because someone can only love you to the degree that you value and you love yourself. And I like that quote. I would like to share to the audience that Oscar Wilde said, to love oneself is the beginning of the greatest romance. And I will explain that. Because I experienced this myself when I never knew that I needed to love myself. And on that healing journey, I realized that the greatest thing for everybody is about loving oneself. And when I started to really love myself, give myself the self-compassion, that I'm still on that journey. It's a lifelong journey of loving oneself.
Yes.
And when I am on that, when I love myself, I learn to let go, Juanita. I learn to let go of past experiences, past beliefs, or what other people said about me in the past, or past negative patterns of thinking as well, from me, from the people around me, from my siblings, society. So I learn to let go of all that. And when I love myself, I have discovered so many things I didn't know, Juanita. I didn't know I could read tarot. I didn't know I could do hypnotherapy. But when I started to heal myself, our gifts and talents will come, because they all come from within. And that's when we start to live, to rediscover ourselves. I rediscovered that I like coffee. I didn't know I like coffee. I never liked coffee before. I never liked peanut butter. I couldn't smell peanut butter my whole life. But when I heal myself, now I love peanut butter. It's so interesting.
And it's healthy.
Yes, it is very healthy. And I eat the organic ones, the organic peanut butter. So when you love yourself, it's like you find that person that you never knew. It's like you really start to live from an authentic place, from a place of knowing who you are and what your purpose is about. And your purpose become clear as you heal yourself, as you love yourself. You find out what your purpose is, because I know so many people say, I don't know what my purpose is, but they have to start from loving yourself first. And that's where your purpose will come.
Beautiful. As you describe it, Dr. Rani, we hear of a life of self-discovery, a life of cultivating self-love, self-compassion, really just digging deep into ourselves, doing introspection and saying, this is me. Hello, world. This is the real me. I think what society lacks, and you mentioned the word, is not only authentic individuals, but authentic leaders. Because for us who have been in the leadership realm for so long, we can discern between what is fake and what is real. We can discern between the plastic and the authentic. And so many people out there do not have that knowledge yet, and that is what we want to do here. We want to bring that knowledge. What is true leadership? What is true self-love and true self-compassion? Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. It has been a phenomenal session. We really appreciate you, and we speak a blessing over everything that you do. And we are really, as I said, going to cheer you on your journey as you go from strength to strength. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Juanita, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience today. And I wish you as well a lot of success. And to all your audience, I wish them to discover themselves and to find their purpose. And I wish the best to everybody.
Thank you, Rani. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. You're an amazing person. And with that, we say good night to the Meticulous Moments audience. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to make Rani's contact details available. Follow her on social media, network with her, contact her, and just start your journey with her. She is a phenomenal human being, and I know she loves to build relationship, so be prepared. She is going to love you with everything inside of her, because she's a very heart-centered leader. So thank you, everyone. See you in the next session. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.